Hey, it's Jane from the Compassion Project, and I am super excited to be here with Emma Koga today. Hey,
Hi.
Emma. Emma's amazing. Okay, I should tell you about this girl. Absolutely love Emma. Both Ed and I do. So she was born and raised in the Okanagan, and she is the kindest soul. She's beautiful inside and out. We met Emma at a local Greek restaurant, Olympia. And I'll never forget it because we were
Yeah,
getting a puppy the next day.
I know.
We were getting a puppy the next day, and it was kind of our last night out. And Emma never forgot any details about us. Every time we'd come in, Emma would know everything about us, and we just really clicked.
We
And
did right from the get-go. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know we know each other's life stories. It's
We do.
amazing.
We do.
So, but we never wanted anyone else to be our waitress except you. So.
I'd be jealous if anybody else took you guys anyways. So.
So Emma truly, truly cares about people, and she really takes the time to get to know you. And she loves to travel, hike, do yoga,
Mhm.
and spend time with her family and friends. But she also is a realtor. So she got,
Um,
when did you get your realtor license, Emma?
a year ago,
A
May
year ago.
2019. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And I felt so proud of you too that you were on this new venture to be a realtor and with Royal LePage.
Mhm.
So I would love to talk about that too, what's happening with
Yeah.
um, your real estate career since all of this. But I really am excited because you're young and I really want to know how this is affecting you, the social
Yeah.
distancing. And
Yeah.
so where were you when I know where you were, when this pandemic it was getting
Yeah.
known. People were
Yeah.
starting to be like, what is happening?
I know. Okay,
Yeah.
so we were supposed to leave for Mexico on March 14th, and everything started getting really bad on March 12th. That's when they kind of started talking about not necessarily like closing the borders yet, but just like that there's a possibility. They were advising people not to travel. And I was going to Mexico with my parents and my sister. So my dad had called everybody in our family, was like, don't go, don't go. We live with my grandma, so she lives in our basement suite.
Okay.
Um, so we were thinking about like, I mean, they hadn't even talked about, I don't even think I hadn't heard about anybody self quarantining like once they got home or anything like that from travels. My aunt had just gone to Phoenix and she had come back and it was normal. Like she
Yeah.
saw it, we all picked her up from the airport, everything was normal. So I didn't, and I'm the kind of person that like anytime I'm scared, I just try to brush it off. Like I just try to, I don't know, like, and I have obviously, none of us have ever had to deal with anything like this. And I don't
Yeah.
think any of us kind of anticipated it to happen how it has happened and how
Yeah.
fast it happened. So my parents, my dad called the resort and asked if like what their cancellation policy was, like if they, and basically at that time, like there was no, if we canceled, we wouldn't get any of our money back. And my mom, she's a teacher, and quite a few other teachers were still going on their vacations. A couple of them had canceled, but most of them were still going. So she's like, let's just go. Like we had all been, everybody was packed. This was like the night before. And
Oh my goodness.
no, so this all happened on March 13th. March 12th, we were kind of like thinking, what are we going to do? I remember my dad calling me and he's like, there's a chance we're going to have to cancel. I was like, there's no way. I was like, I'm going without you guys. No, you're not. No, you're not. But anyway, so we go. And my mom had like a lot of anxiety just thinking that, like, oh, what are people going to think and everything. And all of us were just trying to just, focus on each other, just spend time with each other. Everything's okay. Everything's going to be fine. We get on the plane in Calgary, and there was only like 14. I'd say 14 people total on this plane.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. It was, I had never seen anything like it ever. And like in Europe, I've been on like half full planes and everything, but yeah, it was like a 737. It was a pretty big plane. And yeah, I just remember sitting there and is like, is anybody else gonna come on? Like, this is insane. At the
So
certain
lots of people had canceled then.
Oh, like a lot of people. Yeah, even
Oh,
when we got to our resort, I mean, there were still quite a few people. A lot of people from the States Texas, Florida. But yeah, like we had stayed at the same resort, but in Puerto Vallarta last year, and it was packed compared to
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So
I'm glad to know you were with your mom and dad. I didn't
yeah,
know.
yeah. And like the
Oh,
thing is so basically the plan is me and my sister were gonna go down for the week, for 1 week, and my parents were gonna stay for 2 weeks so that they'd have like the second week by themselves.
okay.
So like everything was good with me and my sister because they were gonna shut the borders on the 23rd and we were coming home on the 21st. But my parents were supposed to come home on the 28th. And so they tried to I just remember my dad, he didn't even sleep one night because he was on the phone with WestJet for so long and he couldn't get through. So he ended
Oh,
up booking a flight with Air Canada just to make sure that they had a way home. And then they ended up getting through with WestJet, so they canceled their Air Canada flight, got on the same flight that me and Sophie were on, and
oh,
so we all
that's
got
good.
to travel back together. Yeah, but it was pretty crazy. Yeah, we got home. We basically got home one day before like the international borders closed, and
Oh
we
my goodness.
mhm. So we ended up we were in quarantine we quarantined for about 3 weeks just to be like extra careful. My grandma stayed at my aunt's house, so she wasn't home, and
Okay.
we ended up staying with her an extra week after we were in quarantine. So we were apart for about a month, and I had friends that went grocery shopping for us and like just got
Aw.
yeah, yeah, and because we tried to do like save on delivery, but all of the opening slots were like 2 months from now because that's how busy they were. So for me in terms of quarantine, I think like okay, so I'm gonna give you an example between me and my sister because we're quite different.
Okay.
I'm very, you know me, I'm very outgoing. I'm social. I like to be doing things all the time, and she's more of a homebody. And so the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks of quarantine, she was happy. Like she loved it. She was basically she was getting paid from the government more than what she would have been making at her
And
job.
your sister's younger than you?
She's turning 19 in July.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So she works at Pacific Poke downtown, that little poke shop.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, and but no, we were watching Netflix all day. She loved it. I did like it in the beginning. Like I when all of my family's at home, we kind of have our own designated spots. Like my dad has his office, my mom's usually in the living room, me and my sister in our own bedrooms. And I feel like with quarantine, we had basically a full month of quarantine, not like quarantine, but together because
Yeah.
one week in Mexico and then 3 weeks together at home. And I I loved being at home with them. Like we all get along
Aw.
really well and yeah, me and my mom watched a lot of Netflix together, which we don't usually do. Like she usually watches her own show. I watch my own show. Um, but we'd like play soccer in the backyard and yeah,
Aw.
yeah. So
It's really a time where I think some people have looked at it like, you'll never have this happen. When will you ever have this happen again?
exactly. And I truly, truly believe that everything does happen for a reason. And my dog, Lucy, got sick when we were in quarantine. Yeah, so she's always had liver problems, or sorry, kidney problems, and she's been on medication. But like, you don't ever think of your dog dying. Like you just can't, right?
No, no.
Because they're like a part of the family. And the one morning, this was like a week after we got home from Mexico, she had a seizure. And
Oh,
never seen her like have a seizure. My mom had a couple times, but this was a bad one. And so we called the vet and we brought her in the next day. We sat in the car and they took her in and they did like a full blood panel and everything. And she was in stage 4 kidney failure. I know
oh no.
we had like a week left with her. So that week we were all at home though. And we did have to put her down.
Oh,
Oh, I know. But at the same time, like, if we were all working, she would have had that seizure and nobody would have known, right?
oh
And
yeah.
at least by putting her down, like we put her out of her misery. Like you could tell that she wasn't eating, she was throwing up. So like I'm thankful that we were all home with her, that we had the time to
Oh,
for her and yeah.
that's
Yeah.
finding grace in
That's
chaos.
all you can do, right? I know.
Because that you can look at it like, yeah, like you had that week with her, all of you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So everything happens for a reason. Everything's
yeah.
okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it was from my perspective when because I'd have you on Instagram, whatever.
Yeah.
And Ed and I had come back from Brisbane, I
Right.
mean, not me. No, I didn't. Ed, as a piece of pilot, he had
Yeah.
flown home from Brisbane and had to self-isolate. That
Yeah.
was that early time from the
Yeah.
March 12th, I think, or
March,
2
it was
weeks.
like mid-March. Yeah.
Yeah, and I go on Instagram. Ed and I are like very strict, not seeing anyone. This
Yeah.
whole pandemic, and I go on Instagram. There you are in your bathing suit.
Yeah.
I honestly, I said to Ed, Emma's in Mexico. Not that,
I
and
know.
you look
I know.
so happy. And
Yeah.
I did text you and be like, "Are you self-distancing in Mexico?"
I know. Literally, there was nobody at our hotel that we basically were.
I thought it was just you and your friends because I didn't know your mom and dad were there, and I thought
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
mom must be so worried.
I know.
And then I thought, well, maybe the young generation just doesn't know or doesn't
Yeah.
like. Was the resort like
They
empty too? No.
Okay, the weird thing was that, like, if you didn't even know about coronavirus before going to Mexico, you'd have no idea it was even a thing. Nobody talked about it. Like, yeah, it was on the news a little bit, but nothing like it was on the news in North America. Like, every news channel was covering coronavirus. And, like, Mexico, they were covering, like, sports that were still playing and everything, and yeah,
I
like,
can see why
nobody
you guys went though,
it was yeah,
because
yeah. And
yeah,
there were, like, no cases at all when we were there. They spiked once we got a couple weeks after we got home. But I mean, the
yeah,
resort they had uh like they had Lysol everywhere. Everywhere you went,
yeah.
they had stuff for your hands, and they were
But
constantly yeah,
a lot of people had trips planned during that time. So there's a lot of
yeah,
people that were making the decision to
right.
cancel. You don't get your money back or go, and you know.
I know.
So
And I don't think we realized how bad it was until we actually left. Like that week we were gone. That was yeah, like I tried not to watch the news. All of my cousins were like, "You guys need to come home right now." Blah blah blah.
yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just
So how are you doing now?
I'm good. I'm good." Yeah. I think the first like the 2-3 weeks where it was super strict, like you don't leave your house, you don't do anything. First week I was good. I was good. Caught up on all my Netflix shows, like organized the entire house. Um, and then as time went on, the days got longer. And I eat when I'm like stressed. I eat when I'm happy. I eat when I'm sad. But like I was binging all the time, and then I just felt gross about my body, and it's like that has a huge like impact on my mental health. And
Yeah,
well, I don't like there just came a point where I was like, "Hey, you need to stop. Like this
yeah,
is gonna be over, and you're gonna get out of this, and you're gonna be 30 pounds heavier, and you're gonna be like, what the heck?" So there came a day I was like, I put way more effort into like eating healthier. So I've been meal prepping with my
yeah,
sister, and we've been going on walks every day. And I used to hate walking around the neighborhood, like I hated it, and now it's my one thing that I enjoy. And
yeah,
I've been taking Charlie with me because he's kind of out of sorts since Lucy passed away, and he's always been super overweight, and so we're
Who's
trying.
Charlie?
My dog.
Oh, you have two.
I've got 2 dogs. Yeah,
So one passed away, and you have oh,
they have a brother and sister.
oh.
Yeah.
So Charlie's getting in good shape now.
Sorry. Oh yeah, yeah. He's so funny. He does not like to walk either, but I'm trying to like train him to be close to me. He always wants to pee on everything, and yeah. So we've been walking lots. I find that getting outside is like the best for me. I go on like social distancing hikes with my friends. So
Yeah.
yeah, just up to
You
Black
need
Mountain.
to.
You
I
do.
yeah,
You
and
really.
I was thinking about the young generation, like you're 22.
Yeah.
Um, just that age, it's so important for
Mhm.
social with your
I know.
friends. It's
I know.
you
Yeah.
know, do you do the Zoom things or the Zoom
Mostly FaceTime.
mostly FaceTime?
I've done a Zoom call with, like, 5 of my friends, that was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, um, but mostly FaceTime, just one-on-one. We've been, like, lately we've been picking up takeout and then going to the beach and sitting by the beach because 'cause it's been so nice out, which is really good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, yeah. So just
And
trying to
what's happening with your real estate
for
career?
for me, not a whole lot, just because 'cause I'm still so new and I'm still trying
Yeah.
to build my clientele. I mean, all of my transactions that I've done have either been family or, like, family friends. So,
Yeah.
And I've met one couple from an open house, and I've been working with them, and they just kind of want to put off buying right now, just till July. Just they have 6 kids.
Oh yeah.
They're super busy. They're obviously their kids aren't in school right now. I think 3 of them will be going back in June when I think they're gonna send them back because I
Yeah.
know
I
it's
think it'd be hard, the real estate. I don't know a lot about it, but I
yeah.
know it has gone online mainly, hasn't
Mhm.
it, for people?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can still show, if you want to. Not a lot of people want to go to, like, other people's houses. A lot of like, sellers don't want to have random people coming through their house while there's a pandemic, right? So,
Yeah.
I showed one vacant apartment, in April, and I wore gloves and I wore a mask and made sure I had lots of hand sanitizer. Other than that, I qualify for the CERB, so I'm not too
Oh,
worried
that's good.
about it. Yeah, yeah, but if I didn't have that, I'd pretty much
Do you
be
want to explain
screwed.
what that is? Because people that maybe are in the States, is
Right,
it?
right.
Yeah.
So, basically anybody whose job has been impacted if they've been laid off or if you're if you're an entrepreneur or you're self-employed and um, your income has been drastically reduced, you qualify for it's $1,000 every 2 weeks, so $2,000 a month for 4 months from
That's good.
Canada. Yeah, so it is taxable, but still, as long as you plan,
Yeah.
my parents charged me rent before, and they haven't been charging me rent since we got home from Mexico. They're champs. But for real estate, I still pay my real estate fees, and those are about it's $400 for my office fee, and then $200 for the Okanagan Mainline Real Estate Board.
Yeah.
So I'm still paying $600 a month in real estate fees, and I'm not making anything from real.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I've got car insurance payments, and I've got my phone. So I'm just really trying to budget. I love shopping. Like whenever I'm bored, I'm literally before I got on here, I was on Zara.
Okay.
I
I was
have
going to ask, what is your favorite website for shopping? What are you doing for shopping? Now's
I
the time I need to shop.
okay. So Aritzia, hold on, I just lost you somewhere. My There you are.
I'm still on. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Aritzia online.
Aritzia is my favorite. It's expensive, but it's the best quality. It
Okay.
lasts
Yeah.
forever. I love Aritzia. Zara I love jeans from Zara. Zara is the
Yeah.
only place that I can buy my jeans online without trying them on, just because I know
Yeah.
the fit. They just fit perfect. What else do I like? I
Well,
like
Emma, how do you feel about Kelowna, where we live? Emma and I
Mhm.
live in the same city. It's loosening. Things are loosening now. Yesterday was the first day. No, Tuesday was the first day that
Tuesday.
the bay is open,
Yeah,
and some of the restaurants are starting to open.
yeah.
How do you
So
feel about that?
I I'm mostly do all of my shopping online already for the most part, and I'm trying to more focus more on spending just because I'm getting this money from the government, so I feel like I should be putting it back into the
Yeah.
government, right? So I bought a curler from Sally's. Usually I'd buy it on Amazon, but I bought it from Sally's and they delivered it to my door. I called them, I called the Kelowna store, and they
Yeah.
said that you could do curbside or they would deliver. So I probably won't be I go to Save On, I go to
Yeah.
Superstore because I have to. I'll do takeout, but I probably won't sit in. Not
Yeah.
yet.
Because I was wondering if the younger generation would be more like, "Yay, the restaurants are open. We're
Yeah.
gonna
Well,
go."
a lot of my friends are. I think I'm gonna go for drinks. I don't know yet. I'm
I know
supposed
it's
to go for
weird.
drinks on Monday.
Yeah.
It goes on top, so it's outside. It's a patio.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That should
Um,
be okay.
I just I care a lot about what people think of me. And when I was in Mexico, a lot of people were like, "You need to come home right now," blah blah blah. And I was like, "Yeah, I know, I know." So I I feel like because a lot of other people are already going out and having drinks and stuff, I think I might go on Monday.
Well,
We'll
you
see.
know what? Um, it doesn't matter what people think because
I
you're
know, I know.
amazing.
I love you.
And it took me a long time to get to the point where I'm like, it doesn't matter what people think, as long as
I
you
know.
know
I
that
know.
you're a good
I
person,
know.
and you are. I mean, I was joking about Mexico, but I'm like,
No, I know.
I was like, it's all good. But anyway, we should probably sign off. You're amazing. I just want to ask you one last
Yeah,
question.
you got
Um, what will you never take for granted again after all this is over?
oh my gosh. Like flights, just being able to like book a flight and go somewhere. I am obsessed with traveling. I've got 5 vacations booked like in advance, just so I have like something to look forward to. And I was supposed to be in New York right now with my cousin and my sister.
Oh,
I know. It's all good. It's all good. I'm trying to
yeah,
think like there's people that are sick. I should not be worried about traveling, and that's
yeah,
not a necessity. But that's probably my biggest thing is just having like just knowing that I can go somewhere. And like
yeah.
right now I can't. All the borders are closed, right?
I
And
know.
I've got like a friend in Australia. I met him when he was working up at Big White, and they had to go home because of COVID because Big White closed down. And just like I just want to go see him, and I can't even go to
I
Australia.
know. Well,
So
it's like that. You feel a little bit like your freedom taken away. Like, I mean, our daughter, you know this. We have a daughter in
yeah,
Australia.
yeah,
To cancel her wedding. She can't fly home, or we couldn't go see her if we wanted
yeah.
to. So
I
the
know.
airline industry is definitely
Yeah,
changing. It's going to take a
yeah,
long time to get
yeah.
back. But
For
you said
sure.
something really important. You said you want something to look forward to. Like,
Mhm.
that's the problem when all of us, when our trips are canceled, weddings are canceled, all these things are canceled, we're lacking that looking forward to something.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why
Exactly.
we have to find smaller things to look forward to, I guess.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Like your daily walks and just like simple things, you know?
Harder
Like
for the younger generation, I think. I
I
don't know.
know, I think so too. I've been reading a lot of like motivational books, self-help books.
Good for
Um,
you.
yeah, yeah. I've been
Awesome.
trying to like instead of just being on my phone all day, I'm trying to get more into reading. I've always liked to read. It's just always been something I have to like get myself into it, and then
Yeah,
I'm obsessed with it. I go through these phases where I'll read like 10 books in like
yeah.
2 months, and then there's a month that I read absolutely no books at all. So
I think
yeah.
I think we're all good if we can go like a year ahead and then say, oh, like, in 2020 for these 4 months or whatever, 3 months, 4 months, we were social distancing, self-isolating, whatever. If you will be able to look back and be like, wow, during
Mhm.
those 4 months, I accomplished this, or
Totally,
I did
totally.
this, I read this
Yeah,
many books, I did this course.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
so you can come out healthier,
yeah,
stronger, mentally,
for sure,
everything.
for
Yeah.
sure.
And I
Yeah.
know you will because you're amazing.
Oh,
Anyway,
love you.
love you. We'll sign off, say goodbye.
Sounds
Thanks
good.
so much.
Bye, everybody.
You're adorable.